For this portrait I went with a small 6x6 inch canvas. The process is the same as when I'm working on a sketch. It's much easier to start with a sketch to spot any issues and fix them on a smaller scale. This way, when I get to the painting, I can just enjoy the process. I start with a warm imprimatura. Then I mix the shadow color. Since the light is cool, the shadows will be warm. I use a mix of Oxide Red and Ultramarine. I begin by outlining the eye. Next, I switch to a larger brush to paint the darkest parts of the portrait, the areas in shadow. I constantly tweak the color mix a bit, adding Alizarine, Oxide Red or Ultramarine, but I keep the value consistent. I paint all the dark areas. I'll add a bit of Alizarine and Viridian. At this stage I am doing everything I did when I painted the color sketch, just on a slightly larger canvas with a proportionally larger brush. In the same dark mix I add Oxide Red and Ultramarine to mark this dark area. Now I add a bit more Alizarine and Viridian, because the shadows here will be slightly cooler than the shadow on the lower part of the head. As you can see, I keep the value consistent but tweak the color slightly. Overall, the color scheme will shift from cool to warm, but the relationship between light and shadow stays the same. So, if the shadow here is cooler, the light will be cooler too. I love using a larger brush at this stage, it keeps me from focusing on details. I lighten a color a bit and paint the farther ear. Right now I'm just painting the darkest parts of the portrait, making slight adjustments to the mix for cooler or warmer tones. The inside of the ear will be a warmer color, so I add Cadmium Red and Alizarine to the mix. Next, I mark these dark folds. This part of the ear is darker. And now I mix a warmer color to paint the inner part of the ear. Then I move on to the mid-tone. These are the areas that are slightly lighter than the shadows. They'll be lighter and a bit cooler. For this mix, I'll mostly use Ultramarine and Alizarine to make it cooler. I can add a bit of Viridian to keep the color from being too red. On the canvas, the camera doesn't capture the value difference well, but on the palette you can see how much lighter the new mix is compared to the darkest color. I use a stiffer brush now since lighter colors allow for more paint. I mix an even lighter color. I make a mix of Alizarine and Viridian, which creates a nice purple hue. With some white paint I get the right value for this mix. Then I work around the eye, carefully applying strokes that follow the form of the head. At this point, I'm using just a few colors: Ultramarine, Oxide Red, Viridian, Alizarine and Cadmium Red if I need something really warm. I'll add more Cadmium Red. And a bit more Viridian and Cadmium Red. What a lovely purple shade. Also, I can use here this cool light color. And I'm moving from dark to light. I am working on the fur color around the eye. Even though it's light, the color will be warmer, so I am adding more Oxide Red. I'll throw in a few cool strokes too. Now I can start painting the nose. I mix a dark color to mark the details. Then I grab a slightly lighter mix and keep going. The area around the nose will have a slightly warmer outline, just like around the eye. I'm still working on the middle tones on the head and muzzle, not moving to the lighter parts yet. This part here will be lighter and cooler. The more light, the cooler the color, so I'll use more Ultramarine and Viridian here. Now I'll paint the light part of the nose. I'll add a bit of orange to make the color warmer. Next, I mix a cool color for the white fur in the light. I'll add a bit of Viridian. And I mark these remaining light areas. I paint the transitional color between the two color shapes to make the edges softer. And I'll add a few light strokes here. Next, I need to finish the eye, as usual starting with the dark areas. Then I'll add the bright warm color of the iris. I'll make a few strokes to mark the color. It's an interesting color accent that catches the viewer's eye, and I use pure cadmium red. And finally, I'll work on the white fur on the neck. I won't touch the background just yet, I'll do it all at once at the end.